right. Let's do this, y'all. Peace and wellness family. I hope that y'all are well and happy and whole and all that good stuff. If you are new here, I am the Queen Poe, and the intention for this video is for us to discuss our upcoming new moon that will be peaking in Virgo, but then quickly making a shift into Libra on September 21st. Now, the shadow period for that new moon will start on the 18th, which is tomorrow, and will last until the 24th. So, with this video, we will be discussing the meaning of this planetary alignment because, y'all, it's a lot going on. It's a lot going on with this planetary alignment. Okay, we have multiple conjunctions, that quick shift from Virgo to Libra. A lot of y'all may already be feeling a bit scatterbrained right now and feeling like your energy is just a little all over the place. That is in full alignment. Okay. So we will discuss the meaning of this planetary alignment and identify some practices that we can implement to utilize all of this energy for our wellness. Now, I have to first and foremost, oh, thank you, babes. I have to first and foremost shout out the wellness community as always. Butterflies in the sky to y'all. I see y'all. I love y'all. I appreciate all of the energy, all of the beautiful butterflies. I really appreciate y'all presence and always showing up. We have just been having a time. Last night we're reading our book of the month, which is Spirits Come From Water by Ihime Ora. And it is a great book. For those of you who are not in the wellness community, I definitely recommend that you get that book. It's a great introduction to African spirituality and ancestor veneration. Not too long ago, we read the book of Juju. Shout out to my girl Juju Bay. Love you dearly, Sister Queen. We read that book. It's kind of in alignment with that, right? So if you are completely new to spirituality, you don't know anything about ancestor veneration or African spirituality, or read things like that. Her book is another one of those introduction books that I highly recommend, right? Along with the Book of Juju, along with Jambalaya by Yeye Louisa Tish, along with the Handbook of Yoruba Traditional Religions or Handbook of Yoruba Traditional Practices, Handbook of Yoruba Religious Concepts. I had to look over. I'm like, I got the book. Y'all know I always keep some books close. Here go the book right here. Shout out to Baba Ifa Karate. Okay, so it's in the vein of those great introductions. The book again is called Spirits Come From Water by Ihime Ora. Okay, excellent book. But the tribe and I are currently reading that. Yesterday we read, I think it was chapter 5, which is called The Ancestors Speak Back. And it's all about spiritual communication, divination. So we were able to have a really good about 2 hour or maybe even a little longer than that conversation all about spiritual communication and divination, how to really tap into that ability to be able to communicate with spirit, the work that we can do to elevate your medium energy, also elevate how you practice divination. So that conversation was really, really good. And tomorrow we are having a conversation all about mastering manifestation. And this video today is going to kind of lead into that conversation because as we know, and getting into the planetary alignment, new moons are all about setting intention and manifesting. Now, the interesting thing about this new moon is we also have a partial solar eclipse. That happens when the moon passes between the sun and the earth, right? So with new moons being all about setting intentions and manifesting, anytime we have a new moon, it elevates the energy of a new beginning. Our moon is our emotion body, right? So usually when you have a new moon, you kind of feel your energy feeling a bit lighter, a bit more clear, a bit more open. But this new moon is different because we have that solar eclipse where the moon is passing between the earth, which is our grounding, our reality, and the sun, which is our connection between our highest divine self and the highest divine source, right? So when you have the moon, our emotion body, that's usually all about fresh starts, new beginnings, setting intention, and the clearing of paths, and it's passing between our reality space, the earth, and our Ori space, our highest divine self energy, which is the sun. that can open up a lot of people feeling a bit scattered, right? Feeling a bit all over the place, feeling like things are happening around you and you're losing control a little bit. But the feeling of like, I feel like I'm like a little out of control. I feel like I'm thrown off my routine, like something is going on. It's not necessarily a bad feeling, right? So during this time, during this shadow period, starting the 18th and leading into the 20 to the excuse me to the 24th, but likely you are already feeling this. It's not that you feel bad. People may just be feeling a little bit off, feeling a little bit out of control, feeling like something is going on, but like I just I'm all over the place. I'm a little scattered, right? But that is normal when we have that partial solar eclipse, when we have that emotion body, that new moon clearing its path and passing between the earth, the grounded reality, and the sun, which is our Ori, our spirit self, our highest divine self. The Ori and the reality may feel a bit out of whack or feel a bit disconnected. But what's happening is your path is being cleared, right? What's happening is you will get more clarity. You will get more revelation about what your next step should be, about how to create routine and get some discipline in your life. You will find yourself aligning with the energy of ease a lot more. So, right now, if you feel a little bit scattered, you feel a little bit all over the place, that is normal right now. Okay. Just really pay attention to the signs and omens that you're getting from the universe about how your path is being cleared, about what opportunities are being freed up so that you can step into them and elevate. And the reason that I'm mentioning the value of routine during this time is because this new moon is peaking in Virgo. Now, the interesting thing about that Virgo energy is, hold on, I want to make sure, because I want to make sure I'm not skipping nothing. I'm like, let me scroll up in my notes. The interesting thing about that Virgo energy is we know Virgo is that fixed earth energy, that earth sign energy that is ruled by Mercury. When we are talking about that grounded Virgo earth energy, we are talking about that energy of being super structured, super disciplined, very determined, excellent planners. Virgos can plan the hell out of something. Okay, a Virgo is going to decide what they want. They're going to pick an event and they are going to plan that event down to the T. They are on it, very routine, very disciplined, very grounded in reality, right? Now, they're also very good communicators. They're very good at giving instruction, very good at delegating, but also very good at like being a perfectionist within self and getting things done how they see it and manifesting their vision. So, anytime we have a new moon in Virgo, our manifestation abilities are elevated, our manifestation opportunities are elevated. So, this is a good time to manifest. But what exactly should you be manifesting? Low key MJ, why every time y'all do this? Let me tell y'all what y'all do. I'll be going back because y'all know I go back after the videos and I timestamp the videos. Something that y'all do every single time, and I just think it's hilarious, is when we have a planetary alignment in a specific sign, and I start bigging up that sign, somebody gonna shade them. Somebody gonna shade that sign every single time. They be like, queen, that's cute and all, but they a little critical. They be a little judgmental. They be gossiping a little bit. We had a full moon in Leo, I think, one time. And I was like, talking about how Leos are confident and like, Leos, they have that ego. They're very centered in understanding who they are. And they stand and somebody was like, yeah, but it's all a mask. They fake as fuck. I was like, God, hold on. Get your foot off their neck. Y'all don't let no sign just breathe, okay? Look, did they lie on? Look at them. Did they lie on? Y'all is just too much. Let the signs breathe. Let me speak some light and some life into the energy. Huh? Shout out to my Virgos. I love a Virgo down for that reason. Shout out to the top Virgo, the queen, huh? Beyonce, huh? My brother is also a Virgo. His birthday was actually yesterday. Shout out to my brother Jordan. September 16th was his birthday. But y'all, that Virgo energy they are a perfectionist. They do get it done. Huh? They are very routine oriented, very discipline oriented. So when we have this new moon peaking in Virgo, that energy is elevated within all of us, right? That energy of being super certain about what it is that we want, that energy of elevated and enhanced discipline, how to get it done, and the energy to complete it and get it done. So don't be surprised if you find yourself having a bit of elevated energy. But I'm going to tell y'all, this is why this energy of this new moon in Virgo is so interesting, because of that solar eclipse causing folks to feel a little bit scattered, a little bit unsure and uncertain, right? But knowing that the solar eclipse is clearing our path energetically and opening up some opportunities. But again, the reality is like feeling like, what is going on, right? But also, that Virgo energy of feeling very disciplined, wanting to start a new routine. This is a good time to start a new routine. But don't be surprised if one day you have a lot of energy, or sometimes even one moment, you have a lot of that Virgo energy and you have the ability to get things done and you really want to do something. And then all of a sudden you get super sleepy. All of a sudden you are on the complete end of the spectrum. You are on the other side and you are like, I need a nap. I don't want to be bothered. I don't want to socialize. Virgos are very good at socializing. Virgos are known for being very communal, right? Very community oriented. Again, that Mercury ruling that space of being a communicator, a divine communicator. Also, very Virgos are very good when it comes to justice work, right? But the interesting thing about this is that, again, feeling high, feeling like I got the energy, I got the discipline. I'm going to go work out. I'm going to make some herbs. I'm going to go meditate. I'm going to do this. I'm going to start this new thing. And then all of a sudden, feeling like you need a nap. All of a sudden, feel like you need to go to sleep. All of a sudden, feeling like you want to be alone. That's because this new moon is peaking in Virgo on September 21st. I believe it's at I want to get the time, 3:53 p.m. But then not even 2 hours later at 5:41 p.m., it's going to shift into Libra. This is the interesting thing when we have a quick shifting moon. And that's why I titled this video, New Moon in Virgo and Libra. This is the interesting thing when we have a quick shifting moon. The energy is changing. You have both energies intertwining within this shadow period. So you are feeling that Virgo energy and that Libra energy. The good thing is these two energies complement each other. So now watch this. Watch this. Let me spend a little time and big up my Libras. Here comes the shade for the Libra. Look at the chat. Look at the chat. Let me spend a little time and big up my Libras, huh? Shout out to my friend Twan and the many Libras I have in my life that I love y'all dearly too, okay? Now, when it comes to a Libra and Libra energy, y'all, it's too much. I love y'all so much. Oh my God. When it comes to Libra energy, Libra is a cardinal air sign that is ruled by Venus, right? You will know Libras because they are known for the balancing of the scales, right? Also very good with justice work, that balancing, finding balance, understanding both sides, fairness, equality, a lot of Shango type of traits, right? Very much known for justice. The interesting thing about Libra is as well is that Venus ruling energy. Venus is our planet of love, relationships, beauty, abundance, values. When you are talking about Libra energy, yes, you're talking about duality. Yes, you're talking about balance, but we have to keep in mind that air energy, that energy to just go with the flow. Oh Lord, why they got to be dummies, Brianna? Why? Why? Look, y'all, they can't make up their minds. Y'all is too much. I love me a good little Libra, not a Libra, not a Libra. I cannot. Get off their neck. Get off their neck, y'all. But I love a good Libra because, again, they are known for that justice, that balance, that fairness, that duality, right? But they are also known for being able to kind of go with the flow, being able to shift and adjust and really kind of be a part of any crowd while still being themselves. And that's one thing I love about Libras. Now, Geminis are known for being able to shift and adjust and be a part of any crowd, but it's usually by fronting and not fronting in a bad way, but by leading with a small aspect of themselves and hiding the rest. They will conceal parts of themselves and like around this group of friends, I'm this way. Around this group of friends, I'm that way. A Libra is a person who they're usually always going to be their full authentic self with any crowd, but they just know how to flow, right? They are the light in the room when they walk in the room. They are usually the leaders of the friendship circle, right? They are usually the ones who they throw in the parties, they get in the energy together, right? So that's usually Libra energy. It's like when you know a Libra, everybody knows this Libra, right? So and again, I love them dearly, but how does that impact our energy? Having that Virgo energy, and then a couple of hours later, that quick shift to Libra. Like I said, Virgo and Libra greatly complement each other because of the discipline, because of the determination, because of the balance of fairness and justice. But the only thing is that Virgo calls you to kind of deeply ground and connect with that earth energy. They are earth sign. And Libra is like, throw it all away. We got to get it done. The Libra is the person who, when they clean up, everything got to go in the trash. If everything in its Virgos, this is an example. When a Virgo is cleaning the house, they're going to find a way to put everything in order. They're going to find a rightful place for everything. When a Libra is cleaning the house, whatever ain't in order got to go in the trash. Whatever ain't in order, we just got to release and let go of. Okay, a Virgo wants to start a new goal. A Virgo wants to start a new routine. We're going to figure out how to fit this in a schedule. We're going to create a schedule. A Libra is like, I want to start a new routine. I'm going full throttle. The schedule is just going to work itself out. The schedule, we'll just find the time. We'll find the time. It's going to happen though, right? It's going to get done. So again, very vigorous energy, very go with the flow energy, more in a sense, more freedom than that Virgo, that strict structure, right? But this is the beautiful thing about it because we will be called to find balance within these energies. So as I said, with new moons call us to set intention and manifest. What should you be setting intention to do, right? This is a good time. And let me scroll down. Make sure I got my notes. This is a good time for us to be sure that we are setting intentions to identify what helps us feel grounded and secure, what helps us feel super safe, what helps us feel certain and confident about who we are and where we are, especially when it comes to starting a new routine. This, I heavily advise that everybody tap into your holistic routine. Decide what is your holistic routine. What is one ritual, and this is going to be a journal prompt later on, but what is one ritual for each aspect of your holistic self that you can commit to doing every single day? What is one ritual for your physical wellness that you can commit to doing every day? What is one ritual for your spiritual wellness that you can commit to doing every day? Your mental wellness, your emotional wellness. What is your holistic wellness routine? That Virgo energy is going to help you decide this is the routine that helps me feel secure in my wellness. This is the routine that helps me feel grounded and safe in my wellness. This is the routine that helps me feel confident in my wellness. And that Libra energy is really going to help elevate that self-love, that passion, which will help you lock in on that routine, okay? On being able to get it done. That's how the Libra energy will help. Like I said, the downside, and I've been kind of hinting at, the downside of this is that it may feel like you're a bit scattered, especially during this early part of the shadow period, right? It may feel like you're a bit scattered. It may feel like 1 minute you have a lot of energy and the next minute you just want to sit your ass down and take a nap. That may be how you feel, right? That's the downside. But the upside is that you will have a lot more clarity on what will help you feel secure in your wellness, and you will have the ability to get it done, to manifest it, to make it happen. And that routine is going to help you manifest that Libra balance. By the end of this new moon, everybody should be elevated in the energy of feeling more balanced, feeling more secure in who you are. Now, let me tell you another benefit, but this ain't gonna be a benefit for everybody. It's only gonna be a benefit for certain people. Anytime we have a quick shifting new moon, especially going into Libra, really any air sign, but Libra ruled by that Venus, the desire for intimacy, passion, and pleasure will increase in everybody. Okay? The desire for intimacy, passion, and pleasure will increase for everybody. Take your birth control. Huh? Protect yourself. Huh? Okay? Get that rose. Get that man. Call that eater. And get to it. It's going to be increased. Like I said, this ain't going. This is good for some people who have options. But if you ain't got no options, the roses, keep it. They might have a sale going on. They might have a sale going on, okay? But even just beyond the physical aspects of like sexual pleasure, which will be increased for everybody, let's really talk about what does it mean to tap into your intimacy and your passion, especially in relationships. What does that look like for you, right? What does it mean to tap into the energy of being deeply connected to someone, including yourself? What does it look like to be intimate aside from just sexual relations? What does it mean to be intimate with yourself? How do you tap into the energy of intimacy with self? When do you do it? How do you do it? What does that look like for you? Is it when you are taking a spiritual bath? Is it when you are meditating, right? How can you tap into a more intimate, deep, personal relationship with yourself? This is a good time to explore that. And like I said, that will lead to or deeply align with that setting the intention to feel more secure, to feel more certain, to feel more confidence, to increase your self-love energy, right? When we all step out of this shadow period at the end of the 24th, we should all be elevated in the energy of security, self-love, confidence, and all of that. So how can you build a more intimate, deeply personal, deep connection with self? How can you tap into your own passions and elevate it with your passions to be able to do that? What does pleasure look like for yourself? How do you tap into pleasure and align with pleasure within self, right? And again, I have to keep mentioning this. That eclipse energy, specifically that solar eclipse energy, where this moon is passing between the earth and the sun, that eclipse energy is going to elevate that within all of us because it's going to clear paths. Again, a solar eclipse offers us the opportunity to clear some paths, and we won't even really have to do anything. It'll kind of just naturally happen. Another thing that's good about having a solar eclipse during this time, this specific solar eclipse is aligned with South Node, right? So when we're talking about South Node, specifically in Virgo, we're talking about the past and past lives. So clearing away any type of generational curses, any type of generational bonds, any type of trauma bonds in your life that's kind of holding you back will naturally break away and be cleared and freed. This is a good time to work with the energy of earth and fire. Those are the two elements that you want to deeply tap into during this time, the energy of earth and fire. Okay. So ask yourself, how can I work with the earth? And working with the earth looks like working with your roots, right? Working your roots, working your ground, working your plants, right? That's what working with the earth looks like right now. And then moving forward, when it comes to working with the energy of fire, as we know, fire is all about purification. Fire is about clearing your path. So how can you work with the energy energy of fire, doing some type of candle work, some type of candle magic, making sure that you are cleansing your crystals using fire. Yesterday in the wellness community, we talked about flame divination, right? Practicing some flame divination. This is definitely a good time to practice some divination and tap into your spiritual communication, right? Now, let me go back up and make sure that I touched on. We talked about the new moon, the solar eclipse. We talked about Virgo. We talked about Libra, the multiple 50,000 conjunctions. If I didn't touch, I know I didn't touch on all of them. I talked about the sun, which is going to be in Virgo, and then quickly transfer or transition to Libra with the new moon. So that's what I'm saying when I talk about that quick shift of energy, because it's not just the moon that's having that quick transition. The sun is also having that quick transition from Virgo to Libra, right? So both the Ori, the sun, the highest divine self connected to the highest divine source, that Ori energy is shifting right with that emotion body of the moon, right? That divine masculine, that logic, and that divine feminine, those emotions, that intuition, both of them will have that quick shift. So that's why I said the energy right now, y'all, may feel a bit scattered because both our sun and our moon are quickly shifting from one energy space to the next energy space, from one element to the next element, from one modality to the next modality. So both energies and elements and modalities all play a role and what we are experiencing, right? And it's up to you of what you want to tap into. But as I explained and I heavily advise, use the energy of both for your wellness because it is possible. I also want to talk about Mercury, right? Which again, Mercury is Virgo's ruler. Mercury will also be in Virgo, that safe sign. So the desire to communicate, the desire to have those intimate, deep conversations and connections and relationships because of that Mercury in Virgo, but also quickly shifting into Libra, right? Which is all about balancing those scales ruled by Venus, that Venus energy. Venus is also going to be in Virgo. So again, that Venus, love, intimacy, relationships, communication, all of that energy is increased right now. Uranus retrograde. Uranus will be trining this new moon in Gemini. So the interesting thing about Uranus retrograde, I have a whole video that I did talking about that. Uranus is our planet of innovation. When it is retrograde, you may feel a bit challenged when it comes to creativity. But the reason that this trines bring us harmony, the reason that these challenges in innovation is going to be good, it's because it's going to kind of suppress a little bit of that Libra flowy in the air energy, and you will be able to decide. This is why that Uranus retrograde trine is actually working for our wellness, because it is going to suppress, I don't know what to do. I feel like I need to create something new. I feel like I need to start all over again. It's going to suppress that energy, and you'll be able to make a more definitive decision. You'll be more clear. There's going to be an increase of clarity about exactly what you need to do, exactly what will help you feel secure, and to help you get those routines going. So that's the good thing about this trine. We also have Pluto retrograde that's going to be trying in the opposite direction in Aquarius. Now, and I talked about this last time, huh? So I didn't talk about it on social media because I talked to y'all about this the last time when we talked about the full moon. And in that video, that full moon video, I literally looked at y'all and I said, there's going to be major transformations and transitions in the government. I said, do not engage. Do not get caught up in the fray. Do not allow you. I said, I want you to detach. I want you to mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally detach, because they're going to try to use this to control your emotions. I said that. I believe I did that video around like September 3rd or something like that. A couple of days later, there was a change in one of the departments, from the Department of Defense to the Department of War. And I said, that's the transformation. And that transformation will lead to transition. And not just not just the one transition that actually happened, the public transition of the politician. Not just that one, but of many, because that is the energetic shift. That's an energetic shift. And I told y'all that was going to happen the last time. Go check the video, huh? Before either of those two things, I said it's going to be major transformations and transitions. Detach. Do not engage. Be aware, but do not engage. And do we see all of the social media fallout? Do we see people trying to get folks to lose their jobs and people tricking themselves out of their position because you're allowing what's happening to control your emotions and you're on social media just talking, talking, talking? If you really about it, you don't need to talk about how you feel. You don't need to talk about what you think about certain things. You do. You move in action. You move in action, right? You observe and you move in action. So I'm going to say again, Pluto is retrograde in Aquarius. Pluto is all about power and major systems. Pluto is a planet of revolution and major transformation. Pluto in Aquarius specifically is all about revolution and major transformation. When you have a retrograde, it brings challenges to that area. I told y'all this in the Pluto retrograde video, a different video. Retrogrades are introspective. The call is coming from in the house. They will eat themselves alive. They will eat themselves alive. You don't need to do anything. What we just saw, that's exactly what it was. I didn't even have no questions about who did that. I said it was one of them against one of them. It's one of them against one of them. Retrogrades are introspective. They will eat themselves. They're going against each other. They're turning against each other. You do not need to get involved. Detach, 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 detach. Detach, detach, detach. Do not be all on social media talking crazy. Do not be sharing all your thoughts. You can have your thoughts and feels. You pick up your group chat and talk about it in your group chat. But you need to be mindful. Be mindful of everything you say and how much you say and what you feel the need to share. It's not your business. It's not your business. Retrogrades are introspective. Pluto, power, major systems like the government, is retrograde. Let them handle each other within their own house. Okay? Last time I'm going to say that. Now, we also have opposing, and I'm bringing that up, the Pluto retrograde, because there's a trine. I said that's how I started it. There's a trine. So there will be more within this shadow period. You're going to see more. But trines bring us what? Harmony. Whose wellness is it for? The wellness of the collective. The wellness of who? The people. Let them handle each other from the inside out. Okay? Mind your business, honey. Detach, focus on you and your routine and your wellness and elevating yourself. Mind your business. Let them people do that's their business, honey. Opposing this new moon, this solar eclipse, and all of this energy, we have Saturn and Neptune in Pisces. The interesting thing about Saturn and Neptune, as we know, Neptune is our planet of spirituality and dreams. Saturn is all about discipline, boundaries, restrictions. When we have opposition, opposition can bring us a challenge, and that challenge in the form I always tell y'all this, when you think about oppositions, I want you to think about the scales, right? The scales. So one side and the other. The challenge is it'll kind of make you feel off balance a little bit. When you have Saturn, our planet of boundaries and restrictions, opposing this new moon and sun that will be in Virgo and make that quick shift to Libra. And then you also have Neptune, spirituality and dreams, also going with that, opposing as well, that solar eclipse. Yes, again, I keep telling y'all, you're going to feel a little bit more scattered. There may be a little bit of challenge when it comes to actually being able to tap into that Virgo energy of getting it done. You might have one moment where you have the deep desire to get it done. You have the deep desire to do and to move forward. And then there may be another moment where you're kind of just like, I want to take a nap. I need some rest. that opposition is going to elevate those poles. It's going to elevate that the challenge of finding that balance between that Virgo, get it done, and then kind of just wanting to like take a nap. You know what I'm saying? But what I will tell you to do and what I highly recommend, and this is going to be the time where you have to decide what is it that you truly need. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that you need to ignore that the feeling of I need to take a nap or I want to rest or I want to be in solitude. I'm not saying you need to ignore that, but you have to really ask yourself, and this is where your silent meditation comes in. And I was telling the wellness community, prayer is how you speak to spirit, meditation is how you listen to spirit, right? This is when you need to sit in silence and listen to spirit and ask yourself, what do I really need? Is it just the energy? Is just the planetary alignment that's just telling me to lay down and telling me to isolate and telling me to take a nap? Or do I really need rest? And if you really need rest, rest. Take a moment to just breathe and just exist, right? But then you have to know when to say, I don't need rest. It's the energy. I feel rested. Although I want to take a nap, although I want to go to sleep, maybe I need to get my work done, but maybe I need to turn this music off. Maybe I need to turn this TV down because all of that energy is pulling on my energy, right? A lot of people don't realize, like, yes, music and the TV and these things could be great background noise, but sometimes those things are pulling on your energy as well. So this is something I want y'all to try. When you are in the middle of practicing your routine, of practicing your discipline, and you feel that urge to kind of just take a nap and to detach, sometimes you just need to cut that music off and just be in your own energy. Okay, it's too much going on. It's too much stimulus, okay, around you in your environment. Turn that TV off. Turn that music off. Just handle your business in silence. So it's just you, yourself, and your spirit just there and doing your business, handling your work, getting your routine done. Sometimes that's all you need. Our spirit sometimes is not calling us to take a nap. It's calling us to take a break. It's calling us to be in solitude, in silence. Our spirit is saying, it's not that I'm actually drained. It's not that we physically are depleted. It's that it's so much going on. Let's step back. But we register that as I need a nap. I need to go to sleep. No. You just might need to step back from all of these different energetic pulls that's in your environment. Just be, just be, just be. And get it done. Okay. So that's how you can handle that opposition energy. That's a practice to help handle that opposition energy. I saw somebody put in the chat autumn equinox. I put it in my notes, but I'm going to do a separate video about autumn equinox because yes, the shadow period for this new moon ends on the 24th, but autumn equinox is on the 22nd. So it will fall towards the end of this shadow period. But I really want to do a video to break down autumn equinox, which brings us deep into harvest season and how to really tap into that harvest season. And then that's when we can get into our conversations about manifesting a physical abundance, tangible abundance, how to handle your harvest. So I want to do a whole separate video focused on that. Absolutely. I agree. You said it's so much happening. And that's why I kind of want to separate that because I already talked about this new moon shifting from Virgo to Libra, solar eclipse, all of these conjunctions and trines and oppositions. I want to do autumn equinox separate so we're not completely overwhelmed with information here. So I'll do that as a separate video. But yes, autumn equinox is September 22nd, falling during the shadow period of this new moon, right? Which ends on the 24th. I want to make sure I touched on everything. What to do, explore your relationship with trust, vulnerability, intimacy, passion. I talked about that, setting intentions to identify security and manifesting balance, creating a holistic routine. I talked about that. Be aware of your shifts of energy, omens from the universe, reflecting the clearing of your path. I talked about that as well. All right, family, let's get into journal prompts. Journal prompts. Let me get my water. Okay, hold on. Journal prompts, crystals, and herbs. Okay. Now, with these journal prompts, A few of them will be definitely heavily focused on this new moon energy, this solar eclipse energy, of course. But I also wanted to pull some journal prompts from our book of the month with the wellness community. As I said, we're reading Spirits Come from Water by Ihime Ora. So as we read that, there's been some good journal prompts that we've been able to pull, right? Now, with these journal prompts, some of them will come from that, and then some of them are coming from this new moon energy, but definitely, of course, always in alignment. You said define shadow period. So shadow period is when the energy is prevalent, right? So you have the peak day, for example, the peak day of this new moon and solar eclipse, which will be September 21st. But right before, and this is with any type of planetary experience, a little bit before the peak and a little bit after, that energy is still present. Think about it like a hill, right? With the shadow period, where there's a baseline. Before we get to the peak, the energy goes up, you feel it, it peaks, and then it starts to wane. That up and that wane is the shadow period, okay? Going up and down the hill. That's the shadow. And then you have the peak day. So we don't always focus only on the peak, because you can still feel the energy when you're going up and when you're coming down, right? So that's how I can explain the shadow period. So the shadow period for this energy starts on the 18th, right? But because there's so many shifts and so much going on, you may already be feeling some of this. And then as after it peaks and it starts to wane, and the planets, the various planets start to continue to shift and move, right? Then you will start to feel the energy kind of dissipate, and you move to the next energy. So that's what the shadow period is. That was a really good question, because sometimes we don't talk about that type of language enough, right? So good question. Now, journal prompts. The first journal prompts. What is one ritual for each aspect of your holistic wellness routine? Physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. What is one ritual for each aspect of your holistic wellness that you are committed to every day? And this is how you create and manifest your holistic wellness routine. Thank you so much, Captain Tang. You said I'm a Gemini, rising in Libra, moon in Scorpio. What herbs, crystals should I get? I'm going to get to crystals and herbs next. That's going to talk about that Libra as well as Virgo energy. But again, that Mercury that rules Virgo also rules Gemini. So all of that will be handled with the crystals and herbs that's coming up. So that was the first journal prompt. One ritual for each aspect of your holistic wellness routine. Okay. And I want you to really write that down. Write that one down. Do a list, right? Because sometimes with our journal prompts, you ain't always got to write an essay, baby. I want to be clear about that. Every journal prompt don't need an essay, baby. Sometimes you just need to make a little list. Physical, boom. Mental, ritual. Emotional, this is the ritual. Spiritual, this is the ritual. So let me give a quick example. Physical, for myself. Physical, every day I go for a walk. Every day. That's my commitment to myself every day. Physical. And I could talk about the various benefits that walking has for me, right? Physical. Mental. Every day, meditation. Every single day, dedicate to intentional meditation. And I'm not talking about just like walking meditation, which is a part of my meditation. I'm talking about sitting in silence for me, sitting in silence and just listening to spirit. Every day, making a commitment to spend some time doing that. That's my mental, right? Emotional, right? I do emotional check-ins for myself, emotional wellness check-in. How are you feeling? How are you feeling deeply? And I check in with each chakra. Ori, how's my Ori feeling? How is my third eye, my intuition? How is my throat? How's my communication? How's my heart? What is my heart calling for me to do? How is my solar, my emotion body? Okay. How's my sacral, my intuition, my creativity? How is my root, my confidence, my grounding, my security? That is how I do an emotional check-in for all aspects of my holistic self, my major energy points, right? Every single day I commit to doing that, right? And then spiritual. For me, spiritually, there's a variety of different rituals I have on a daily basis, but smudging is a physical slash spiritual to cleanse my energy and protect myself. I'm also very intentional about ensuring that I'm praying over myself and chanting my I am mantras. That meditation is mental, but also part of spiritual because that's my time I dedicate actually listening to my highest divine self, the spirit, the Ori within me, the Orisha within me, but also listening to my spirit guides and my ancestors, right? So that's my holistic ritual every single day. That's what I commit to. So that's what I mean when I say you could do a list, right? You could do a list every day, each aspect of your holistic self. What are you committed to? And it's okay to have some crossover, okay? Now, second journal prompt. What ignites passion and pleasure within you? What ignites passion and pleasure within you? And this is really about that Venus energy, that Libra energy, tapping into that desire for deep intimacy, deep connection. What ignites passion and pleasure within you? Okay. Third journal prompt, and this comes from our book of the month. I think this one came from our book of the month. I remember the wellness community and I talked about it. No, you know what this might have came from? Our watch party for Issa Rae Doc, Seen and Heard. This one might have came from that. Who is your audience and how is your audience a reflection of you? Who is your audience and how is your audience a reflection of you? Who's your community and how is your community a reflection of you? Right? I think that came from our watch party for Issa Rae Seen and Heard. If y'all have not watched that documentary, it's a 2-part documentary. It's so worth it. It's on HBO. Go watch that doc, okay? Very inspiring, super inspiring. Fourth journal prompt. How are you working in alignment with your vision while you wait for your vision to manifest? I think this also came from that doc as well. How are you working in alignment with your vision while you wait for your vision to manifest? Because when we're talking about manifestation, you don't just sit and just wait for it to happen. You need to be, shout out to Tabitha Brown, you need to be working while you wait. So how are you working in alignment with your vision, in alignment with your desire while you wait for it to fully manifest? How are you working toward your passion, toward your vision flourishing? And this Virgo energy is really a good time to explore that because, like I said, Virgos are all about getting it done. Virgos are all about discipline and perfection in doing the work, right? So, consider. Now, fifth journal prompt. How is your reincarnation? And this comes from our book of the month, I think, or this might have came from the doc as well. Okay, I think this came from the doc. So all of these journal prompts are in alignment. Are in alignment with our new moon solar eclipse. But I think all of these journal prompts came from the doc as well. Shout out to Issa Rae Seen and Heard. Okay. This one. How is your reincarnation veneration for what your ancestors couldn't do? And that, I think that was Debbie Allen who said that in the doc. I think it was Debbie Allen, right? No, Oprah. Oprah said that in the doc. Your doc is good, honey. How is your reincarnation veneration for what your ancestors couldn't do? Another way to word that, which is how she said it, how is your life a resurrection for for your ancestors who couldn't? How is your life a resurrection for your ancestors who couldn't? She said, my life is a resurrection for my ancestors who couldn't. And baby, clutch pearls, grab boobs, hold the sacral. My God, today. My life is a resurrection for my ancestors who couldn't. How is your life a resurrection for your ancestors who couldn't? And wellness community, we had a good talk about that one. Okay, we had a good one, but I wanted to share that journal prompt for anybody who hasn't seen it. And again, y'all go watch Issa Rae Seen and Heard, baby. That was an inspiring documentary. Okay. Crystals and herbs, and this is to for you who asked earlier. Crystals and herbs. Of course, I'm gonna give y'all 5 crystals. All of these crystals are all about that clarity energy. Like I said, we have that moon and sun making a quick shift from Virgo to Libra with that solar eclipse. So the energy is very shifty. So to help enhance your clarity, which solar eclipses are good for that, to help enhance your clarity as well as clear your path, this is what these crystals are for. And of course, with these crystals, you can meditate with them. You could add them to a mojo bag. You could keep them around you when you are divining. Okay. First crystal, sunstone for clarity. And sunstone is really good during a solar eclipse. Sunstone for clarity. Second crystal, tourmaline, but you can do not black tourmaline. You can do pink tourmaline or green tourmaline, okay, for compassion and love, heavily in alignment with that Virgo energy. Third crystal, opal. Now, opal under this Virgo and Libra, but specifically that Libra energy, is good for protection and clearing your path. Opal. Rose quartz. Rose quartz for enhanced intimacy and love. If you don't have rose quartz, you could get rhodonite. That pink tourmaline is also in alignment with that energy as well. And citrine. Citrine for enhanced energy as well as clarity. Okay, running through them again. Sunstone, pink or green tourmaline, opal, rose quartz, and citrine. Okay. Herbs. Now, with all of these herbs, I heavily advise that you make a tea with them, but you could also take a spiritual bath. But I would heavily advise to make a tea with them. First herb, vervain. Vervain for passion, intimacy, and happiness in alignment with that Libra energy. Hibiscus for love and passion in alignment with that Libra energy. Catnip in alignment with that Virgo energy for luck, love, and joy, as well as completion. Catnip is good for completion. And catnip, you can also smudge with catnip as well. Catnip is very good for boundary setting and for elevating the energy of your collective, of your community, your tribe. Apple. The fruit apple is good for abundance and passion. And you can add that to a tea. A couple of slices of apple in a tea is really, really good. One of my favorite tea blends, y'all know the foundation for all of my teas is ginger, cinnamon, a little bit of honey. I love that. That's my foundation. Any type of herb blend you do, you add a little bit of ginger, some cinnamon, some honey, it's going to go up. Apple, a couple of slices of apple. Even with your most pungent herbs, a couple of slices of apple in there. Yes, it's for abundance. It's also for divination, elevates that energy. But the flavor of it it elevates a good hot tea any day of the week. Okay, so abundance, divination, as well as passion, apple. Raspberry leaf for love, passion, intuition, as well as creativity, elevating that divine feminine energy. Okay, yeah, some dried apple is really good as well. Dried apple, a couple slices of dried apple in that tea, honey, it goes a long way. Okay, running through them again: vervain, hibiscus, catnip, apple, and raspberry leaf for our herbs. All right, family, I love y'all dearly. Keep in mind this energy, the new moon in Virgo peaks on September 21st at 3:53 p.m. Eastern time, and then we'll quickly make a quick shift into Libra at 5:41, less than a couple of hours later. So both energies are present. We will have a partial solar eclipse. I don't think that it will be fully visible in the US, but you will still feel and be affected by the energy of the solar eclipse, even if it's not visible to you. Okay, so please deeply understand that the shadow period for this energy starts on the 18th and will last until the 24th. So you have all of that time to really work with this energy for your wellness. Okay, and thank you. I always say I'm going to shout out the people who send me love offerings. I want to take some time to do that because I always forget at the end, and I try to add it to the comment section and pin it. But let me give love to CEO Soul, Destiny, E.M. Horn, Kenyatta, Destiny again, Shayla, Kenya, Cray, or Cree, I think that's Cray, Naquan, Courtney, Tequila, Taretha, Stanley, many people. Thank y'all for the love offerings for the Cash App. Thank you for everybody who sent the love offering via the super chats here in YouTube. I really deeply Deeply appreciate that love and abundance energy, and may it be abundantly, abundantly, abundantly returned unto you. I thank you for that. And family, thank y'all for tuning in and tapping in with this live. Thank you for everybody in the chat who had me laughing with your Libra and Virgo shade. Loki MJ is a mess. Okay. Wellness community, I love y'all dearly, and I will see y'all tomorrow for our conversation, our soulful conversation on mastering manifestation, manifesting your destiny, how to become a master manifester. So I'll see y'all for that tomorrow. Y'all rest well, YouTube family. I will see y'all soon. Happy new moon and much love, y'all. I'll see y'all very soon because, like I said, I'm going to go do another video about the autumn equinox. Okay, so that's on the 22nd. I'll see y'all very soon. Okay, love y'all dearly and happy new moon. Much love, y'all.